back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Time for us to delve into our discussion segment. And this morning we will be starting with the Shiites returning to the streets of Abuja. There was a protest by members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria, popularly known as Shiites in Abuja, on Monday yesterday, over the killing of top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. And of course, the Shiites protested the killing of Soleimani and also demanded the release of their leader, Sheikh Ibrahim el-Zakzaki, and his wife Zinat, who are still in detention. The placard-carrying protesters also burnt a flag of the United States of America, chanting "Death to America." Discussing this with us this morning is Sesan Johnson, a social commentator. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, looking at what has been the fallout of the death of the second most powerful man in Iran, that's Qasem Soleimani, we've seen it drawing the attention of the whole world. But bringing it down to Nigeria, seeing the members of the Shiites, the Islamic movement in Nigeria, coming back to protest. Of course, we know that we didn't hear anything from them for the last few weeks. But now they're back to the streets of Abuja protesting and saying death to America. Are we really prepared for this? And how do you see all of this playing out?
I think with the death of this man, especially with the assassination or the killing of this man by United States of America, one has expected this kind of reaction. And premise on the relationship between Nigerian Shiites and Iran, it is not surprising that they are reacting also this way. Mm-hmm. But we have to be prepared for the aftermath, because the way we handle this situation, we have to be very careful. Like, for example, they came out protesting, and unlike before, we didn't see any clash with the government, with any of the government agencies. You know, one would have expected maybe the police or what have you will go out to also stop them. But again, the Nigerian government has not reacted to this killing. You know, maybe to criticize America or to support America. The Nigerian government has been neutral, which is good, because we have to be very careful. But in all, we should also be aware of the fact that Iran will do its best to retaliate. It may not be on American soil, but it may be anywhere in the world. And Nigeria should not be allowed to be used to test or to serve as proxy war. So the Nigerian government must be very careful. We should prepare.
But are they not already retaliating? Because you're saying they will retaliate. Is Iran not already retaliating? Because we heard of the clash or the fire, the incident that happened in Baghdad in Iraq.
Yes, yes, that has happened. But one is expecting more than that, because we have to look at it worldwide. Because even at it, people have been talking about the Third World War. But for me, we may not have that. But American can be said to have superior power in terms of warhead, in terms of nuclear power, in terms of military technology. But both of them also have what we call MAD, mutually assured destruction capacity. Because Iran itself is also at the bridge of having its own nuclear weapon, and this can be produced at any point in time with the capacity they have presently. So, and then they can also, and it has been said, I think it has been proven that Iran, the government of Iran, is one of the major sponsors of terrorism or of terrorists across the world, and then it is expected that there may be terrorist attack maybe on American soil or in any other part of the world. So I think Nigerian government should be prepared. We should also be very careful, and let's monitor any terrorist organization that we know in this country, and begin to see if they have any plan. Because Iran will do its best to activate any sleeper terrorist cell across the world.
Looking at the detention of el-Zakzaki and Zinat till now, and with what played out yesterday, what can you say that the government is actually not getting to right on that course?
I think this is becoming controversial because the same Nigerian people that will criticize the government of holding on to Ezezaki, the same people are also commending or praising America for killing the second in command or the second most popular leader or strong leader in Iran. But in all, I think this is also showing to us that maybe on the part of the government is doing it right. The government has intelligence reports, maybe on the Shiites group in Nigeria, and maybe that's why they are still holding on to the man. You know, like the way Showore and what's his name now? Dansuki was eventually released in December. So, but they are still holding on to this leader of Shiites. I think maybe based on intelligence report. But in all, I think it will with the face off between Iran and America now. There will be continuous protests on the parts of the Shiite group. But the government should do its best to differentiate between the continuous detention of Ezezaki and that of the problem between Iran and
Don't you think that
and United States of
the
America.
detention will be sending a signal to Iran now, like Nigeria is in support of what President Trump did or what America did?
No, it will depend on the stand of the government of Nigeria, because for now the government has not supported U.S. action and it has not rebuked that action, and I think that is good for the government to be very careful. Let's wait for United Nations and other international organizations to react and see how this will go. But in terms of dealing with Ezezaki, I think the government is doing its best for now. It has not been, because one would have expected that Iran would have reacted against Nigeria as a state, but we have not seen that. But the case of the killing of this what's his name now, cousin, I think the government must be very careful and must be alert, because Iran may likely use any country to attack America.
But you saying that Nigeria needs to be well prepared. I know that the Inspector General of Police already issued the order for policemen to be on alert, and we saw some stationed police vans in some flash points, especially in areas like Abuja, Kaduna, places that are prone to violence. But do you think, what exactly do you mean when you say we need to be prepared? Do you think we need to also be defensive, or should we begin to maybe arrest the Shiite members when they come for protest? What exactly do you mean?
I think we Nigeria as a state, I don't think we can have a direct war or conflict with Iran. I don't think so. But we have organizations that have sympathy for terrorism, which we know Iran to be one of their main sponsor, and they may also capitalize on this recent or current development to carry out their plan, and that's why I said Nigeria must be alert, and the best way to go for it, just like the IG has also said, they should be proactive. They should gather more intelligence reports and likely areas of attack, especially things that stand for Western ideas, like UN offices, USA embassy, and other concerned interest area of the Western world, especially United States of America. They should provide protection and security in this area, because these are flash points that this terrorist group can decide to attack. This may not even be under the direction or directive of Iran. They may just have sympathy and to support it. Like the protest, I don't think, I stand to be corrected, I don't think Iran's ordered for this protest, but Shiites having their connection with Iran, just because of their sympathy for what happened, they may just decide to carry out protests, and they may be having another plan. We've not seen there is no recorded case of major terrorist acts on the part of Shiite, even though they have been tagged terrorist organization by the federal government, but we've not really witnessed a bombing or what have you on their part, except for the conflict between them and the security agency in Nigeria. But we should not allow this current situation between America and Iran to allow them to develop more into an active terrorist group, and we should not allow activation of sleeping terrorist cells in Nigeria, because we have them across the states, especially in eastern region of the country. So those are the things the federal government should do.
But is this not towing the path of violence and also tending to sever our ties with a country, the most powerful country in the world, the United States of America? We saw those people burning the American flag, saying death to America. Is it some level of ignorance, or are they just willing to throw every benefit we stand to gain from the United States into the wind, just to show their solidarity with Iran?
You know, these are people that they don't have this deep thinking about their actions, but maybe because of their own interest too, because they have they get their fundings, their grants from Iran. We have been told that, and in terms of their Islamic fundamentalism, they also have the same notion, the same ideology with Iran. And these are people that consider America as anti-Islam. And so for me, it is not surprising that they are reacting this way. You remember that some of them are, apart from, they've not really come out, but they will prefer to have Islamic State, just like the way we have it in Iran. And so it is not surprising that they are having this action, but it now depends on the way Nigerian government handle the situation. But so far so good. I think our government is handling it in a more diplomatic way. For now, Iran cannot accuse of supporting America, and for now, America cannot accuse of supporting Iran also. So I think that's good for us, because we have to be very careful, especially with the notion that Nigerian is more of Muslims, in quotes now, and especially since we have a Muslim president. So we have to be very careful in the way we react to this as a state, and also we should also manage the way we also kick against those people protesting, so that this will not be misconstrued or misinterpreted by Iran or any other state or groups having sympathy for Iran.
But do you see Nigeria moving out of all this drama in no time?
I think, for me, I think Nigeria should, especially on the part of the continuous detention of Sasaki, they should have diplomatic or political solution to it, just like the way they did for Dansuki and Shiwore. Even though people may argue that they have different cases they are facing in the court of law, but for me, they can have diplomatic solution to it, and utilize Islamic traditional rulers like the Sultan of Sokoto and other, like the Emir of Kano and any other leader, traditional leader in Kaduna, and even some other key Islamic leaders in this country. See the way they can talk to Ezazaki and solve the problem politically, instead of creating tension, so I don't give opportunity for these Shiites members, because some of them, they may not even listen to their leaders again, so that we don't allow them to also have division, because for now we are still having one Shiite. So I've been advocating for a case of not allowing them to also have a division or faction among them, whereby we
like the Boko Haram,
so that we don't radicalize a group and they're not even listening to Ezazaki again, and then creating another problem for Nigeria.
But even there was a time that the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, came out to say that they spent 3.5 million naira to feed El Zakzaki monthly, and you're wondering, why should we spend so much to actually keep somebody who does not want to be kept?
He's a VIP. He quotes now, because you remember that he also even when he went to in India, he did mention that where he was staying in Nigeria was better than where he was being placed
in India.
So that shows that he's been given a VIP treatment. He's enjoying himself and what have you here. And the Nigerians are clamoring for his release. They are shouting, and that's why you see that the way people go down, especially in terms of supporting him after returning. You know, we witness that because people now realize that for what purpose are we even supporting this man? But in all, I think the Nigerian government should, as we try to protect national interest, as we try to provide security, as we even try to put in check the dissident or dissenting voices, we should also consider the economy so that we don't put too much economic value on these people and spending a lot to put them in detention or to put them at bay. I think there should be ways we should do things and solve problem without incurring more expense.
But on a final note, do you see crisis breaking out of this little protest we're seeing from the Shiite group?
I think it should be well managed because, like I said earlier on, if we continue to react against them, if we don't solve this problem politically, there may be factions, divisions. And one of the factions may be radicalized. And especially at this point in time that we have international conflicts. If they have more sponsors, if they have more funding, and then they just should do everything to block all
solve
of this.
Solve it politically or diplomatically?
I mean the one internally. So that's, you know, because I don't expect that you are going to Iran to because for now we don't have interstate conflict with Iran. But in terms of the group, the Shiite group we have in this country, let's look for a way internally. Let's follow local politics. Discuss with political leaders in this country, religious leader, traditional leader. Talk to Zaki and other key members of Shiite and solve this problem once and for all, so that they can maintain peace and government will allow them to.
But would that involve the release of the leader, Zaki? I
think Zaki should be released for me, especially on the bail condition declared by the court of law. So that he can continue to face his charges in the court of law.
Thank you. You've made your thoughts known on this issue, and we're without doubt on where you stand in all of this. Thank you so much, Sesan Johnson.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll be back to talk more. Don't go anywhere.